Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about some news that has come out, I guess, in the last day about a new potential Avatar The Last Airbender series. Um, so supposedly the new series is going to be called Avatar Seven Heavens. Or at least that's what the proposed name of this new series would be. It would basically be a sequel to Legends of Korra. Or it would be like after Legends of Korra. It would have to be like several decades after Legends of Korra because I'm assuming Korra lives for a long time. Like obviously, this takes place when the new Avatar happens or whatever. It's going to be obviously the next nation in the cycle, which would be an Earth Kingdom person. Um, Now I know there were rumors about this, but there was no ever confirmation. There was like leaked fake plot concepts which weren't true. Um, So, yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what they do. With the Avatar series, it's kind of interesting because we've been hearing for so many years about new things that are going to be coming within the universe of the cartoon anime series of Avatar Lord. But, excuse me, the only thing that we have seen is comic books for the Avatar series. We haven't really seen anything else adopted outside of that. Yes, we did see the live action series actually come out last year for season one, but that's pretty much it, and that was live action. So I don't really count that. That's, obviously that was in development for years now. And they obviously did some filming last year for season two, and still that hasn't come out, which doesn't surprise me. I thought for sure that I had a feeling it wasn't going to come out right away. Like I said, it probably won't come out until next year when they put out season two of the live action series. But for the cartoon series, the anime cartoon series, it's like we're still waiting for that movie. Like we still haven't gotten the first movie of this continuation essentially of this expanded Avatar universe. Um Now I'm gonna get on to the plot concepts of what this sequel is to Legends of Korra. But my whole thing of this is I think we're kind of getting our little eggs in too much of this baskets right now when it comes to another new Avatar series. And what I mean by a new Avatar series, I mean going more into the future, past Korra. I think it is a bit risky, um, in my personal opinion, because Legends of Korra, whether you guys were a fan of Legends of Korra or not, because I do have people that like Legends, and I liked Legends of Korra too, to a certain extent. Um, I had things that I liked about it, and there were things I didn't really like about it. But the whole thing with doing a new series is, again, Legends of Korra wasn't received that very well, and then that's just something we cannot deny. And going into another, deep into the future for the next Avatar in the cycle is very risky because of what happened with Legends of Korra. Now, there isn't going to be as much restrictions as there was with Legends of Korra. As we all know, there was a lot of restrictions with Legends of Korra, from what they originally were going to do with Legends of Korra to how Legends of Korra ended up happening. There were so many problems with Legends of Korra in the production, and I remember Mike and Brian talking about this. Even as early as when stuff was coming out. I mean, remember, I've been on. I let's put it this way. I was on YouTube reviewing Legends of Korra. I mean, that's how old I mean, that's how old my YouTube channel is. I've been I was here on YouTube reviewing all the episodes of Legends of Korra. I think it was it the second season? I think it was either the third. I would have to go back, but I reviewed like at least the 3 seasons or the last 2 seasons. But I was doing the episodes of Legends of Korra here on my channel back in the day, and you know, it was an up and down. It was up and down, with Legends of Korra. And I remember them talking about the production. I remember the cliffhanger episode, which was basically because the Nickelodeon pulled their budget and all this. There were so many problems with Legend of Korra. You can go in a whole video on the productions of Legend of Korra. So the one advantage with this new Avatar series is that they probably won't have these restrictions anymore because this is an Avatar Studios thing now. It's not being restricted to Nickelodeon. It's probably going to be on Paramount Plus. So that's one of the plus, but I still think it is risky. I think with Avatar Studios, they really need to focus on spin-offs, adapting the comic book stories, expanding on the comic book series of Avatar, of Aang, of Korra, expanding on those type of things and see where it goes before we go right into another Avatar, from the future. That's just my take on this. There's so many things they can adapt. There's so many things they can adapt from the comic books that have come out over the years from Aang and Korra's storylines, and there's other things that they can adapt that I just think are going to interest people more than just going right into a new series. But one thing I will mention, and I am kind of surprised by this, we actually have the Avatar in the title. As we all know, Legends of Korra was actually supposed to be called Avatar: The Legends of Korra, but because of Mr. James Cameron, they decided to just call it Legends of Korra. So, anyways, I am kind of surprised by that. But anyways, so 20th anniversary of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar Studios officially announced an Avatar 7 Heaven TV sequel for Paramount Plus. They said that it will be 26 episodes long and will be split up with 13 episodes per season. So it's going to be a 2-episode season. Which it's good. I'm glad they got a kind of rundown of how long they want this series to be. Because again, that was the biggest problem with Legends of Korra. Legends of Korra was originally supposed to be 1 season, then it turned into a 2-season series, and then it turned into a 4-season series because of how successful season 1 was. Season 1, people forget, Legends of Korra was actually doing really good in season 1. Season 1, they did very good in season 1. The biggest problem with Legends of Korra, in terms of why the drawback happened, for the seasons afterwards, was because Nickelodeon was fixated on putting it on prime time. They moved it to 8 o'clock. I think it was 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, if I'm remembering correctly, for season 2 and onward. And that's what killed Legends of Korra. It had really nothing to do with any of the production stuff and the problems that Legends of Korra had with, all the mangling around that Nickelodeon executives were doing. But it was more or less the time slot that really screwed it, because season 1, they kind of had it on a Saturday morning time slot. It was at 11, if I'm remembering correctly, 11 a.m. On Saturday for season 1. That was really what benefited Legends of Korra, and that's kind of what they did with Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first two seasons. Is they had it on Saturday morning. Now, when they went to season 3, they did move Avatar: The Last Airbender to prime time, but Avatar: The Last Airbender was already widely established as a top tier show. The problem with Legends of Korra was because they rushed everything up, and it didn't have enough balanced substance to support it being on prime time at that time. And also another thing, they didn't promote it very well. Unless you were a diehard Avatar fan, you had no idea what time it was on, because people like me that were Avatar fans were actually looking it up online to find out where it was. And yes, I can confirm, as an Avatar fan, I actually had to look up online to know when Legends of Korra was premiering and when it was premiering and what time it was premiering at. Those last few seasons that it was on the air. And then, of course, it got booted in season 4, and then it was reduced to online exclusive on Nickelodeon.com at like noon or something like that. I think they put it on Saturday or whatever on noon, which is what they should have been airing it for television. But, I digress. But that's basically the story of Legends of Korra, and that's the biggest problems. Despite all the criticism Legends of Korra gets, which it deserves it, I think Legends of Korra would have done a lot better if it had been on Saturday morning, regardless of all the problems it had with production and storyline issues. But anyways, I digress. Let's go to this thing. So here was the whole quotes: is a world shattering by Dzevizan Kavastrafitz, a young earthbender discovers so the Avatar is going to be a she, not a he, which kind of surprises me, because I thought they would go back to a male for the earth bending one, since we did Aang, then we did Korra as a female or woman, and then I thought we would go back to a male, for Earth King. But again, it doesn't really matter. But again, I just thought that's kind of what made the most sense. But whatever. The new Avatar after Korra, but in this dangerous era that the title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. That's actually interesting. I'm actually interested by that one. Hunted by both the humans and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysteries and origins and save the, seven heavens before citizens' last stranglehold collapse. That's kind of interesting. Again, we don't know how long Korra lives for. I believe Aang lived officially until he was 65 or something like that. And that was mainly because he was stuck frozen for 100 years. That kind of killed his lifespan from living any farther than being in his 60s. I am wondering how long Korra did live for, because Korra didn't have the issues that Aang had, and obviously her personality was much different than Aang. She wasn't gentle like Aang was. Korra was kind of hard-hitting and stuff like that. So she probably could have lived longer. She did have the almost near-death experience, though, in season 3. But I feel like she would have lived longer. Maybe not like Avatar Kyoshi, because she lived like a few centuries. I doubt they did that, but she could have lived until her 90s. So when they say the human, the spirits don't like the Avatar now, that's kind of interesting. Because obviously, as we all know, Korra was the one who left the spirit world open. So maybe by leaving the spirit world open, that over time, the avatar became someone that the humans and the spirits didn't like because of the division between the spirits and the humans. And so, because of this, the next avatar that is born in the cycle has to deal with this issue that Korra left behind. And because of that, by this point, the humans and the spirits do not like her. And again, she doesn't have really guidance from all the other avatars because of what happens in season two. Because all the spirits were destroyed. All the past live avatars' spirits were destroyed. So she would only have Korra spirit for guidance here. So this is a very interesting. But I do think this is kind of the best case scenario because if we did another typical Avatar storyline, it would be like, oh well, it's like, oh, the Avatar's the hero. She or he is the bridge, you know, to bring balance to the world, you know. So I think this is kind of makes sense, you know, that it would make sense that they would now see her, the new Avatar, as like the villain. So I do think this kind of plot release does have potential. But we'll have to see how it turns out, of course. But I'm intrigued about the twin element, that she has a twin sister. Yes, it's a twin sister. So who apparently was long lost. So that implies that she didn't even know who she was. So one's a twin and the other is the Avatar. So I'm curious how the Avatar finds out that she's the Avatar then. And also, I believe there was something that they were saying that it was, you know, because what's the seven represent? Some people were saying that represents like nations, that there's more than four nations now. Now, remember, there was Republic City, so technically there's already more than four nations now. And we do know that the Earth Kingdom kind of turned into a democracy because of how the last Earth King decided like that he would, you know, want to turn in the Earth Kingdom more into democracy, rather, you know, have an elected official instead of actually just being a king. So there's that possibility as well, that because of that, that turned the Earth Kingdom into multiple different nations, because you already had Republic City, which had a president by by season two. Mike and Brian's statement was, quote, "When we created the original series, we never imagined we would still be expanding the world decades later. The new incarnations of the Avatarverse is full of fantasy, mysteries, and a whole new cast of amazing characters. Get ready to take another epic and emotional adventure," end quote. The previous coverage of the series actually follows a 9-year-old twin Avatar named Purvi and Nashana, who are separated at birth. Both can bend all four. Okay, now that's bullshit right there. That was one of the fake. That was one of the fake articles that were reporting this at the time. Because I had heard about that and I thought it was bullshit. And based on the statement, it seems like it is. There's only one Avatar. Only one Avatar has mastered 4 elements. So that just doesn't make any sense. They will have their own team Avatar with her. Yeah, this was like, yeah, I don't think that was true. I don't think that part was true. Unless, because I was just thinking about this, actually. The only way it would be possible that someone else would have the four elements besides the actual avatar would be is if the long lost twin somehow got Vatu's spirit, and then that leads to the dark avatar. Um, you know, but that season wasn't received very well. And that was kind of the season that kind of really ruined Korra. Um, so to kind of bring back Vatu, I think would kind of not be a good idea. Um, but that's the only way it would make sense because you can't have two avatars. You cannot have two avatars. You just can't do that. Um, but that's the only way they could like kind of make sense of that. But I don't think they're doing that because they even say in this article here, the article that was released gives no indication that the long lost twin um is an avatar as well. Like they don't say that here at all. Um, they say young your Earthbender discovers she's the new avatar after Korra in a dangerous era. The title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Hunted by both humans and spirits, she and her long lost twin must uncover their mysteries and origins and save the seven uh, heavens. Right? That's what it says. So this statement, this paragraph applies. It implies that the twin that isn't the avatar is not an avatar. That she does not have the four elements like her twin sister, who is the avatar. So that's what this implies. So there is no indication that there is two avatars in this series. So in the sense, they did get the twin part right. But that's pretty much it. They only got the twin part right. And the other stuff they just kind of made up. They kind of just made it up. Excuse me. So they kind of just made that up. Excuse me. So I don't buy that. It just seems like they only got the twin part right based on the article. Maybe they heard something and they kind of like, because this article, the article about this whole rumor about the twins, this was on December 4th. So they probably heard about the twin part and then they kind of just made up stuff to kind of fit a narrative. Because that's the only thing they have here. Because if there was two avatars and one was Vatu and the other was, Rava, the regular avatar, it wouldn't make sense because Vatu hates Rava. So, if Vatu was possessing the sister, you would think she would want to get rid of Rava. So that just doesn't make sense. So yeah, in terms of what I think this series is going to be, I'm very curious to see when this series comes out or when they're going to do it because again, we still haven't gotten the movie yet. Like the movie that was supposed to have been out for a while now. I mean, like, come on now. Like, we announced that years ago. They announced that years ago. The casting and all that stuff was announced like over a year ago for the voice acting. People are still disappointed about that the OG cast isn't coming back for that, which I'm one of them. I'm still pissed off about that. Other than Dante Bosco, which don't get me wrong, I like the Dante Bosco's coming back, but I wanted to see all of the cast members from the original cast that are still in the industry to come back. I didn't want just one person. I wanted all to come back. I really don't like how they're doing that to the OG cast and being like, yeah, no, because we're in a different time, we can't do that anymore. It's like, no, the OG cast should come back. Um, you know, they're the ones that kind of made these characters synonymous. I mean, I don't know how you can do Sokka without Sokka's voice actor because, he's a natural comedian. That's just my thing. Like you just can't do these characters justice without the people that were actually making these voices for these characters. But yeah, I mean, I hope the series does good. I really do. I'm looking forward to it still, despite my concerns. Because I do want it to be. I want Avatar to continue being successful, dude. I like this. I like this franchise. I don't want to see these damn problems that we had with Korra again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see this shit like work. The live action series was okay. There were problems with it, but not as badly as I thought they were gonna be. But I just wish that we could get more things coming out. Because they say they say we're gonna get stuff and then we don't get stuff for a long time. I mean, we need to get more stuff like sooner for this to actually be something. The Avatar Studios has been for like it's been officially established for like 4 years now, and we still really haven't gotten anything out of it. So that's my concerns going into this. What do you guys think about this Avatar 7s? Do you think there's going to be the 7 is representing the 4 nations? What do you think the nations will be? Do you think it's still a Fire Nation? So I'm wondering if there's going to be a Fire Nation too, or will they divide the Fire Nation now? I'm wondering, like, again, I still think the Earth Kingdom now is going to be divided into multiple different nations because now the Earth Kingdom is more on a democratic government now. But they don't like the Avatar now, apparently. So that's another thing. Here's my theory too: is maybe it's because the humans like don't believe in the Avatar anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just don't believe in the Avatar anymore. It's like because they're getting more into the modern world. Remember, in Legends of Korra, they were like basing technology off of like the 1900s, right? You started seeing cars in Public City and stuff like that. So maybe we're kind of getting more into the modern day of present world, and maybe because of that, they're starting to not really believe in bending and Avatar being important and stuff like that. Maybe that's what this is about. Maybe that's why the humans don't believe in the Avatar anymore and don't like the Avatar anymore. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are you guys' thoughts about this? Are you looking forward to the supposed Avatar 7 Heavens series? Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate if you like this video, my videos. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell for the latest content. Thank you, and that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, the SS Ultimate Goku, follow the Twitch, the SS Ultimate Goku, Instagram, the SS Ultimate Goku, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we talk about various topics, including this one as well. So make sure to check it out. I do have a YouTube tier list as well for all those perks. And now I'm out. Peace.